Okay guys, today we are going to talk about if statement. If a condition is true, it will execute some codes. If a condition isn't true, it will execute others code. For this reason, let's work with an example. Imagine that we have user age here, age equal to 25, and let's write if statement. If the age greater equal to 18, you should display console.log you can enter today's movie. Now let's see. Yes, you can enter today's movie because this condition is true and we can execute this code. If this condition isn't true, we shouldn't execute this code. For this reason, we have to write else because else is executed when the condition isn't true. Now let's write here console.log. Let's write you are too young for this movie. You can enter to this movie if it was 13. Let's see. Yes, you're too young for this movie because this condition isn't true. We shouldn't execute this part of code and we have to ignore this clause. And if it is false, we have to execute this clause. Now let's work with Boolean. Booleans work very well with if statement. Let's see. Let has ticket. If a user has a ticket, we can write true. If a user does have ticket, we can write false. And let's write if a user has ticket, it will display console.log. It will display that you have ticket. And if the user doesn't have ticket, it will display that console.log you have to take the ticket first. Now let's see. You have to take the ticket first because the user doesn't have ticket. If the user has ticket, true, it will show that you have ticket. This Boolean in if statement. Now let's know nested if. Nested if mean if statement inside a if statement. Let's work with it. Let age equal to 25 and let has ticket equal to false. Now let's check this. If the user age greater or equal to 18, you have to execute this class and you have to write console.log. Inside of that, let's write that you can enter to this movie. And let's check if the user has ticket or not. For this reason, we have to write another if statement inside this if statement. If has ticket, if the user has ticket, you have to write that console.log and you have to say that you have ticket. If the user doesn't have ticket, it should say that console.log you have to take the ticket first. Now let's see. You can enter to this movie because this condition is true, and when the condition is true, the computer should execute these clauses, and when this condition is true, it shows that that part, and after that it checks the ticket. If the user has ticket, it will execute this block of code, and if the user hasn't ticket, it will execute this part of code. Because the user doesn't have ticket, it says that you have to take the ticket first. And if the user has ticket, you can enter to this movie because the age is verified, and after that when the computer checked the ticket, the user has ticket and it says that you have ticket. Now let's know else if statement. Else if statement is used for more than one or two condition. Now let's take the user age here, 25, and let's check the age of the user. If age of the user greater than 100, we can say that console.log. We can say that you are too old for this movie, and we can add another condition by else if. Else if, after that, brackets, curly brackets, and inside the parentheses we can write the condition. If the user age is greater or equal to 18, we can say that you can enter to this movie. And when the age of the user is less than 0, mean under the 0, we can say that your age cannot be below the 0. Yes, because the age can't be below the 0. And at the end, we can write else, and we can say that console.log you are too young to this movie. Now let's see. The age is 25. It says that you can enter to this movie. If I write here 120, you are too old for this movie. If I change this into -2, it says that your age cannot be below the 0. If I change this into 13, it says that you are too young to this movie.